let's see, what will lag be? I don't even know what lag would be. What's up? I'm doing my selfie, Amelia. So every morning when I start my live streams, I do a selfie because YouTube does a generated selfie for me. So I'm doing my pose for about a minute. It would be easier if I just took a photo, but it's we are going for a walk. You know, it's every morning. Couple more seconds. Perfect. All right. Couple things. I'm going to need to put you on data, so give me a moment. Yep, my microphone is good. We're good. I was turning on my streams on my computer. We're not doing a whole day again today. We're going to be doing like my walk and then I'll be coming back inside. I don't feel like streaming indoors today. So we will not be streaming indoors today. Do. Sure. How do you say it? Sadium? Is that how you say your name? Sadium. What up? We're going outside taking a walk. I'm just getting my streams prepared on my computer quickly. It's just a way to make sure that my stream is working. Sadie. Shout out to you, Sadie. I don't usually do shout outs, but I figured I'm in a generous mood right now. So. Cool. All right. It might rain again. So. I don't really like wearing my jacket, but let me drink some water. We have a lot to talk about. We have lots to talk about. There's a lot of people already. But it's going to be a good talk because it's all about manifesting your desired reality. And for some of you who have not lived on the planet for long, this is going to be good for you because you won't get tripped up. Okay, Google, turn off. Let's roll, people. We have lots to talk about. So yeah, it rained all day yesterday. I wonder if I should take my gloves. Yeah, I'll take my gloves. Screw it. I'll take my gloves quickly. My hands freeze pretty fast. So the mornings are a little bit cooler. So I got my gloves. We're ready to rock and roll. I don't think I'll need my umbrella, but I'll still take it with me just in case. And now we get rolling. The channel's doing good, dude. It's doing great. Good to see you, Mr. Neo. Welcome, good morning. Or good afternoon. Or good evening, because, some of you are in the other side of the world. It's another rainy day, so I won't be streaming all day like I did yesterday. I was streaming only the outside. But I'm always committed for my walks no matter what. Whether it's minus 40 degrees Celsius or plus 40 degrees Celsius, I will always take my walk first thing in the morning. Gets my day right, gets my frequency focused and locked in. Plus I get some nice fresh air, hear the birds, do the thing. All right, so I'm going to be talking about lag, y'all. Now, not in the sense of what you think I'm talking about, but lag as in bringing forth your desired reality. So many of us have been taught backwards on how reality actually works. For example, and by the way, if anybody leaves any messages in the chat and I don't read it, I do apologize. I'm not purposely ignoring, but when I'm in a flow, I just don't pay attention to the chat. So if you're leaving anything important, again, I do apologize. I'll look at it at some point. If I miss it, I miss it. Now, with that out of the way, let's get rolling. So we've been taught backwards, but really the correct way of bringing forth your desired reality is already knowing you have it within. And the reason why I feel so backwards is because we've been so programmed to see with our eyes. Because then you're like, well, where is it? I don't have it. But the thing is, when you're looking for it, you create a feeling within of lack. You're missing something. And then the universe is always checking your feelings in every present moment to see, are you staying in vibrational resonance to the thing that you desire, or are you continuously thinking you're missing something? And if you continue to think you're missing something, no, that's your stream, bro. I do my stream. Get it straight. Remember, I do things based on what I want to do. This is my stream. I don't have to answer any of you. Did you like a video and is it filming a game? And how do you do that? Amelia, you have to ask me that question again because it doesn't make sense. Can you repeat that question? Anyways, get back to what I'm saying. Manifestation is like, we'll say it is a game, but a game that you've been taught backwards. All of you who are complaining and worrying and fearing and doubting, that's a big one, that you can't have your dream life or your life that you're supposed to have. And guess what? It's not going to come. I hate to be the bearer of bad news or the bearer of great news, depending on your perspective. You will never get what you want. You know why? Because if you continue to fear and put your focus out in the physical world is always changing. And if you don't lock into what's actually important, which is in your inner world, and some of you may not have even heard of the inner world, so let me explain that quickly. Your inner world is based on your beliefs, your expectations, your thoughts with emotions behind it. Not just regular thoughts, but thoughts with emotions. Your convictions, your expectations, your perceptions, whatever you are currently placing your focus on. If you are focusing on, I'll never be with that person, or I'll never have that relationship, or I'm not good enough, or if you're focusing on, I don't have money, because you're looking at your bank account, like I used to do when I only had $2 in my bank account, guess what happened? Because where you place your focus, it will just continue to magnify. The universe punishes everybody because it's a system who doesn't focus on the internal world. When you start to focus and lock in on the internal world, you start to create a different reality. When I was focusing on hating people on the outside world, I kept seeing hateful people, and guess what happened? Hateful people kept mirroring back in the inner world. So this is my confirmation bias. The mirror will never smile back before you do. No, this is a different chat. This is a different channel. Look at my subscribers. I don't have that. It's a different channel, bro. I don't have the 500 on this channel yet for that. But it's okay. That's inevitable. I don't really care about Super Chat right now anyways. I'm locked in. Hello. So, when you continue to focus on the outside world with your eyes, and of course, you got to use your eyes to navigate the world. That's why you're given them. You also have to make sure that you have to have absolute conviction and knowing, not believing, because believing is not enough, to know that you can bring forth whatever it is that you want. But you have to lock in. The world was taught backwards because the world was designed to keep you, you can call this sort of like a place of an exam. You've been placed under a massive exam that you've been writing or going throughout your entire life, and the rules of the exam, of how to play and write this exam, have been taught to you backwards. Wow, that's how powerful it was yesterday, that the winds just like brought that down. Crazy. We get to see some destruction this morning. It's very windy yesterday. What did I tell you about the word sorry? Do I have a gun to your head and say, hey, you need to be here on time? This is not your job, bro. You come on when you choose to. I don't ever want to see that word sorry. That word sorry is like you don't need to apologize. And that's the other thing. We've been conditioned to be too apologetic in this world. Y'all need to stop saying sorry for little things like being late for something, right? You want to be kind and respectful to whoever, but like, I understand. So relax. You don't need to apologize. Anyways, so you've been taught backwards that, things take time and reality has a lag to bring forth things in physical form. And it does, but the physical reality isn't the real reality. Some of you are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy on? Your physical reality is based on your internal reality, which is your inside world. What you truly perceive of the world is what you're going to experience. Basically, another way of saying that is what you expect is what you're going to get. If you expect good things are going to happen. If you expect bad things, then guess what? Bad things are going to happen. That's just the way it is. You're always manifesting, or I like to say you're always revealing your reality, because you're not really creating anything. You are not creating a damn thing. It looks like you're taking the action of bringing it forth, and it looks like you're creating, but you're not creating shit. It already exists in another dimension. You're just revealing it by taking the steps to bring it forth. That's how it really works. So many of you have forgotten this. For my ones who have been only on the planet for 7 to 12 years, Felix, Amelia, you've been here for about 8 years. Listen carefully. Do not, and I repeat, do not let the world tell you that things take time. You got it? Things don't take time, you make time. And what does that mean? That means whatever it is that you desire, imagine it fully with your senses. You were given 5 senses to use it. Imagine whatever it is that you want, and it's already yours. Don't let your eyes trick you. Because, growing up, my parents, they struggled with money. They struggled with a lot of things. They didn't know the rules of the game. So I watched them fighting each other and suffering and creating all kinds of problems. I'm sure some of your parents are like my parents. They might have fought because of money, or they fought because they just didn't understand something. It's normal. It's normal for the normal human life, but when you know how reality is, that's not normal. In fact, that's normal is actually knowing the game of how reality works. I drew a character who is kind of like you. No one's like me, bro. Even if you draw something, that's me, it's not me. Because what I am cannot be described. It can be close enough, but it's not going to be me. That's good. I'm glad. Glad you're focusing on being positive, you know? Even if you grew up with one parent, right? Now one parent struggled or was suffering or like had to go through chaos. Basically, you watched them, whoever you are, you know, go through their experience, and you observed them, or you experienced it for yourself. And then you created things called like lag, a delay. And I have a question for all of you. This is a really powerful question. What is your relationship to waiting? Now I can tell you my relationship to waiting, it fucking sucked. It was awful. Because when I waited for things, I always was thinking waiting is laced with negativity. So I'll explain what I mean. I remember when I got in a lot of trouble at school. I did some pretty bad things as a child because I just didn't know any better. And when I was heading home, I could only imagine what kind of punishment was waiting for me. Right, so like for you, waiting's unbearable. So unbearable has a negative connotation, has a negative vibe to it, doesn't it? It's got like this, like, ugh, man, I gotta wait, right? There was another experience where my cousin, her name's Amanda, she was supposed to come to Canada, to Toronto, when I was living in our apartment building back in 1992. She was supposed to come. Her mom them called my dad them saying, hey, we're driving to Canada from New York. We're driving to Toronto. And I'm like, I was so excited. And guess what? I waited all day. All fucking day looking at the window, waiting for them to come. Waiting for their car to roll up. Looking outside constantly. Excited. Very excited. But guess what happened? They never showed up. And in fact, they called around 8 p.m. that day, or the evening, saying they aren't unfortunately able to get there because of so much traffic, and you know, it would have been too late for them to come anyways. So I was very disappointed, and from that moment on, waiting for things became a disappointment, because when you start to unconsciously know when things are going to happen like that, you start to unfortunately take on other things. Like in the future, like I'm like, okay, so waiting now, I expect that it's going to be either taking forever, or it's going to be laced with disappointment or punishment. So essentially, every time I waited, ooh, there's some basketballs here. There's a black one and a pink one here. Actually, this is not a basketball. This is a, let's see. It's one of those like dodgeballs. That might be a basketball over there. I'll just put it by the door. No, it didn't go to the door. I was thinking I was going to kick it to the door. Oh well. So every time I was thinking about something great, I was like, it's going to take time. But then somewhere deep down inside, I felt like, well, I think I'm never going to get it, because waiting always implied difficulty, stress, disappointment, sadness. Because I was sad that day when my cousin didn't show up, right? I'm an 8-year-old, like excited, waiting for my cousin to show up because we always had fun. She's coming from New York to Toronto, and she never showed up. And I remember that day clear as day. And this is why, like, your subconscious mind holds on to emotional experiences, because it uses emotion as its language. And you can transcend time and space, all of you, and you can time travel back to any moment in your experience to when it was very emotional or had a lot of emotional intensity. So I remember I have to go back to that experience, and I had to overwrite that experience. So I sat down and I imagined that Amanda wasn't able to make it, but I was okay. I was like, okay, Amanda can't come, so I have to basically have my 8-year-old rewrite the story. Let me see. I see something with the nervous system. Catastrophic thinking, exactly. Stop thinking that way, because you're going to be waiting for the other shoe to drop forever, and your nervous system will be overload. Just take everything as it comes. Exactly. Spot on. You nailed it. I like your consciousness. It's good. Spot on. You nailed it. And that's what happens with us waiting. And then we create a lag, thinking, well, when is my desired reality going to get here? When will I have the thing? I'm going to quickly hang on the bar here for a moment. It's a little wet, but it's okay. It's all good. I have my gloves on. When are we going to get the thing? When am I going to have it? When am I going to get it? Right? And then, because you ask that question, that implies and reflects that you don't have it. And because you imply that, like, when am I going to have it, because you don't see it with your eyes, the universe is G-checking you, saying, oh, so you don't have it. Okay. Well, guess what? Because you don't have it, I'll keep giving you more of the same, because you don't have it, because you still don't know that you don't have it, when you're supposed to know that you already have it within. And as you walk that path of knowing that you have it within, it will start to materialize, but you have to let go of the when and the how. Because we also like to create this middleman in between. So, like, for example, Nero, not my client, another client of Nero's, actually it's not a client, it's actually a viewer of Nero's videos. And by the way, for those of you who don't know who I'm referring to, Nero Knowledge is a YouTuber as well. 400,000 plus subscribers, helping people to manifest their dream lives. Nero had a viewer named Denise, and she was driving a raggedy old, that's what she called it, or her daughter called it that too, a raggedy old Toyota RAV4. She's a successful businesswoman, but she was driving a Toyota RAV4. She made notes of what she really wanted with such specificity. She wanted a Escalade with all the trimmings, all the bells and whistles, and she wanted it to be fully paid off. But she let go of it when and how it showed up. A couple months later, she also let go of, like, that she needed money to get it, just so you know. So guess what happened? She let go of it. She let go of how and when. And a friend of hers bought it for her outright, fully. And this friend said, hey, Denise, you deserve this car because you're a successful woman and you need that image of making more money. So here you go, Denise. Here's your car. exactly what she wanted. An Escalade with all the bells and whistles. She was shocked, she dropped to her knees, but she also knew that she knew what it was supposed to be like, because she already knew she had it in her. But she also let go of when and how and the importance. She was good either way. If she was going to be continuously driving the Toyota RAV4, she always thanked the Toyota RAV4. She wasn't too concerned if she got the Escalade, but she got it. So you see, for her, she didn't create a time lag within herself. And time is one of those things that screws with the mind. Because our conscious mind uses like logical linear thinking, and linear has time. It doesn't use cyclical. But if you notice something, if you all look at a clock, what is the shape of a clock? Generally, isn't it a circle? Circle doesn't have a beginning or an end. It just is. And so, all the hidden meanings behind like all these symbols have been right in front of us in plain sight, but we've been so gaslit into believing that time goes only in a linear fashion, and that you only move forward in time. And to some extent, our body does, yes, but that doesn't mean your manifestations have to, because we make the laws of our reality. We create the rules. So if you say something's going to take time, then guess what? It's going to take time. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. If you say that, it's going to take me 10 years to build my business, or get my clients, or get ready, or feel ready. By the way, feeling ready is not a feeling, it's a decision. Ready is not a feeling, it's a decision. You decide. And that leads to the word decide. You must decide and lock in whatever that is. I spent 17 months on my other live stream channel streaming to a phantom audience, practicing everything I needed to practice. Good morning. Have a great day. Thank you. Practicing everything I needed to know. Let me just quickly cross. Before I came onto this channel and shared it with the world. But I knew what was in store for me. And I kept going because I already knew that success was inevitable. Because it wasn't just inevitable, it was already mine, it was already here and now. And guess what happened? During those time, I was able to land some clients. And they paid me very, very well. A year ago right now, I'm struggling, figuring out what the fuck do I do? Like, time's ticking. I'm running out of time. And as you can tell, creating negative connotations around time. I'm running out of time. I'm really good with finances, but income isn't coming in. Not wanting to go back to a job. But now, of course, if that ever were to happen, I'm okay with that for a time being, because I know my mission and my vision is rock solid clear now. And you do whatever it takes. But my clients showed up out of nowhere. They're like, I saw, it's raining again. Well, it's drizzling right now. And today I won't be streaming again all day. I'll just get back to the house and then I'll end it. I had a good day yesterday. I was just locked in, just focused. Because I was preparing for this talk today about lag, that we create a lot of lag within our life unknowingly and We do it because, you know, our eyes have been conditioned to believe that things take time. No, things don't take time, you make time. And that really is a bar. You write that down. You get to decide when you want something, and you have it right now. Not tomorrow, not 10 years from now, right now. But your eyes are going to be like, but I don't have it yet, Orion. No, pizza is not usually on Sundays. But I don't have it, Orion. Sure you do. You have it in your mental realm. But that's not real, Orion. I can't see it. Yeah, because you've been programmed to see things before you have it in the physical. If you don't have it in the physical, then it's considered not real. But that's not true at all. All things can exist physically before it existed mentally. All things have to be designed in the mind before it was brought into the physical realm. Like from this light to the wires, right? To our clothing that we wear, all these cars. Somebody had to think of these things. So it all starts in the mental realm. And then you take the action and bring it into the physical. Let's see, we're going to go straight. Yeah, this is a pretty pleasant climate today. Yesterday, it was pretty windy and very rainy all day, like lots of rain. Tomorrow is going to be very sunny. Tomorrow I'm working with my clients. I might jump on the stream later on in the afternoon. We'll see what happens. Mondays are usually my days with them. Anyways, so we create time and we create a lot of lag within ourselves. So you're wondering, when I said things don't take time, we make time. Well, guess what? Time can also mean right now. Doesn't mean it has to be tomorrow or 10 years from now or 50 years from now. You get to decide what that definition of time really means. This is why I've been talking about the power of words and your definitions. Did this tree break or something? Or was this tree like that? I don't know. So when I said that I already have clients, before a client showed up, guess what? The client showed up. But if I kept saying, where are the clients? Where are the clients? Where I'm placing my focus, the universe is like, oh, so you believe that you know that you have no clients, so I'll just give you more of the same. It's a paradox. What you focus on and what you expect and what you keep telling yourself over and over, the universe can only give you what you believe is true. That's why so many people get punished, because they don't understand the rules of the game. It took me a while to figure it out, right? There's no blaming my parents, there's no blaming anybody, because they simply didn't know. If they knew how reality worked, you know, I wouldn't be able to have all these different stories to explain, you know, why you don't actually have to go through suffering and trials and tribulations when you understand how the game works. The mind's going to want to create a story, though, and keep saying, but it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet. Yeah, that tree is, it'll get some life eventually. But the mind's going to keep saying, but it's not here yet, I can't see it, I can't see it. But the thing is, I want to share something with you. This might be a light bulb moment to some of you. Everything in reality is based on how you feel. You're always looking for a feeling. When you're hungry, you're wanting to satisfy that feeling of hunger. When you're thirsty, you get a drink to satisfy the thirst. When you want a piece of clothing, it'll make you feel a certain way. So why are we focusing on the physical when we should be focusing on the feeling, and then the feeling will bring us the thing that we desire? It's very backwards. But it's actually not backwards. We were just taught the incorrect way. of bringing forth things. So when I had the feeling that my clients were already here, and I locked in and I stayed the course, guess what? They showed up. Not just one, but many. In fact, I have so many clients right now that want to sign up with me that I'm like, ooh, I don't really want to take on more clients. So I have an abundance of clients that keep signing up with me, but I'm like, I have to manage my time too because I only work on Mondays. And I don't want to be like overloaded, you know, I want to give them ample amount of time. But as clients are finished with me, new clients roll in. So I take about 6 or 7 clients at a time for now, for this time period, for now. And when they're done, then you can say I have a waiting list for people to work with me. And I never thought that was going to be possible because a year ago, I was struggling. I was like, fuck. Like, why is it, like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm reading all the books. I understand how manifestation works, but nothing's working because I was still focusing on the physical. When is it going to happen? I can't see it with my eyes. How is it going to happen? And still like adhering to this thing called time, that time, you know, it's going to take a while for them to show up. And having this wacky paradoxical expectation that, okay, they're probably going to show up maybe down the road, but saying that they're going to show up down the road is pushing them further down the road. You see? Paradox. So I trust whatever I'm saying is landing for some of you. If it's not, then it's not. That means you're just not interested in what I'm saying. But you'll be interested in it soon enough. When the time rolls in, you're like, but I really want that car. I really want that person. Then you'll be wishing to some degree that you had listened. But it's okay. You have to go through your experience, right? No problems, no pressures, no obligations. You listen when you choose to listen, that's all. So now, like my relationship to waiting doesn't exist because waiting for me isn't negative because the word waiting just simply has vanished. I don't wait. I move and I get what I expect in every present moment. Morning, brother. I get what I expect in every present moment. And that's by not adhering to what the eyes see. But the thing is, your mind is still going to be like, but I still can't see it. I still can't see it. You have to lock in and stay the course. Even when you don't have what you think you don't have, you do have it because the moment you think about it, it already exists. Because it already was created. You have to realize in the mental realm, there's 3 planes of existence. The mental realm, the spiritual realm, and the physical realm. The mental and the physical work hand in hand. And they create things instantly. But it's not even really created, it's already revealed. Because all things have already been created and it's just been waiting for you to tap in and lock in. I would have never said this 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to be a billionaire or a trillionaire. And yes, I did not stutter when I said the word trillionaire. Because I'm locked the fuck in. I have a lot to do in this world. And that is already mine. And I've already helped the world in such a amazing way. And I helped all of you to some degree before I left. I left this world better than how I found it. In my universe, you all are taken care of. And you all understand how to bring forth what it is that you desire. And now I'm just locking in. Because what I say goes in my reality. But that starts internally. I don't scream to the universe like I used to. Where is my money? You know, I used to do it all the time. I used to scream and tell the universe, you better fucking help me. I would be yelling and screaming. But the universe is like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Just calm, confidence, relax. You already have it. Simple. But then here's what happens, right? You have bills to pay. You only have $2 in your account. You start to panic because waiting creates a little bit of panic as well. And depending on your convictions, on your belief or your knowing of how you're going to bring something forth, you start to like, but I don't see it yet. I don't see this manifestation yet, Orion. It's not here. And that's where you get tripped up because you're not sending a clear signal to the universe. You have to lock in. That's why for those people who go to church and watch and listen and read the Bible, there's a verse, or not a verse, there's a commonly, let's slow down for a moment. There are some words that are being said in the Bible that has been repeated 365 times. And guess what that is? Fear not. Or another way of saying it, do not be afraid. Fear is what corrupts your frequency of what you're supposed to have. The moment you start to like, but here's the thing, even if you have fear for a moment, you just have to simply remind yourself, it's okay. We're still locked in. The frequency's fine. The universe is still doing its thing in the background, even though you already have it within. Right? Focus on the steam, not the ice. The steam is what's going to bring the ice in. You can say that that's the physical representation. Focus on the steam, not the ice, and you will bring it forth. It's basically, the steam is like it's the emotions. Focus on the emotions of what something feels like. When you emit a crystal clear and calm frequency of what it is that you desire, the universe will mirror that back to you. But that also starts with your nervous system. You have to feel safe within. You have to feel safe. I love how there's no walls for houses in Canada. There's walls. I love how you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. And you're locked into only the physical. Are you listening to what I'm saying, or are you just focusing on the physical? It's okay. If you're focusing on the physical, no big deal. Enjoy it. Have fun. But you've been here a couple times now, so I hope you're locking into what I'm saying, because I've noticed something about you, a pattern, that you like to be distracted by the physical, and you don't pay attention to what's being said. That's just my current observations presently, but there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just observing. Oh, this person again. Why are you being weird? Because I'm being weird. Simple. And why are you being weird by saying you're being weird? Anyways, getting back on task. So the more you continue to focus on the physical, and you're like, but I don't have it, Orion. It's not here. I don't have the money. I don't have the partner. I don't have the business. I don't have the career. Well, then if you keep saying that, then the universe can only keep giving you what you keep expecting, keep saying. That really is just how simple this is. But Orion, you're not in San Diego yet. You don't have your partner yet. Sure I do. And sure I am. Just because you see this with your eyes, this is your eyes right now. My eyes are showing me Toronto. Yes, I'm physically here. But I know already that I'm in San Diego. And I've been there plenty of times. And I already know what that feels like. That's the whole reason I went on my trips. To know what it feels like to be there. And just lock in. And let go of the when and the how. Because what also was getting in my way was, well, when am I going to get my visa? When am I going to, get the insights to take the actions? When am I going to move there finally? When am I going to get the money to buy that penthouse? Right? Lots of when. And when implies time. Time is a measurement that we use to go from one place to another through space. But in our inner world, time doesn't exist. The universe, God, the infinite intelligence, the all that is, whatever word you want to call it, doesn't adhere to time. And you are droplets of that infinite intelligence that descended to Earth and have been seeking, interconnectedness. Some of you anyways, not all of you. Some of you want to keep being separate from the totality, the oneness of it all. No big deal. You were given free will for that. But you continue to add more time to things. And if you continue to keep adding more time to things, and guess what? You're just delaying and creating more lag. And you will keep pushing your thing further and further into the future, even though future doesn't exist. That's why so many people end up not getting what they want. But they actually do get what they want because they're getting exactly what they're thinking right now. The pain and the suffering. Morning. Again, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news. I love to be the bearer of great news. But you have the opportunity to shift. But that also comes down to your internal state of being. That comes down to focusing on your emotions. Because everything you feel, exactly, spot on. So if you're focusing on what it is that you really desire to have, you have it. Congratulations, you've manifested everything. And remember, when you see someone else that physically has brought it forth, even though they may or may not know consciously how they did it, or can explain how they did what they did, and they just said, I just did it, right? Because some people will not be able to explain the mechanics behind manifestation. They're just confident in themselves. They just know, like a deep sense of knowing within themselves. And then they get the insights and then they take the action because they stayed calm. They stayed confident. They stayed clear and concise. They knew what they wanted and they went after it. But when I say they went after it, they started within, even if they were unconscious of this knowing, and then they brought it forth. There's a brother, his name is Steve. He's my barber. I've shared his story already, but I'll share it again. Morning. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. And he never read a book on manifestation. He's never done any personal development work on himself, except for obviously taking care of his physical health. But he's always had this calm spirit about him. And he's an entrepreneur. He owns his own barbershop. Him and his co-founder, Tim, I saw it at the inception, the beginning, when it was just the two of them. And now there's like, I think 9 or 10 barbers, and it keeps getting better, and the service keeps getting better and better and better, all because he's just locked in. He has a vision. I also told Steve, I want him to continue to cut my hair even when I'm in San Diego. So I told him I'm gonna fly him out just to cut my hair. So you can say that I am paying him to come just to cut my hair. Him and his girl can just take a vacation every time I need my hair cut to San Diego, and they just travel around. I already have my visions locked in. And it's done. I'm not even concerned anymore. Like, if it happens, and it is already happening, and it has already happened, that's it. But that's the thing. Again, the mind's going to be like, but Orion, you're not there yet. You're not physically there yet, right? And because you're not physically there yet, the mind's going to continue to throw this idea that you're missing something. You ain't missing shit. Do you have to believe to breathe? Are you missing your breath? No. Well, it's the same thing with your manifestations. It's the same thing. It just comes down to, can you truly know that it's already done and lock in? I just mentioned a year ago right now, I'm struggling unknowingly because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why isn't anything working? It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Like, everybody else is bringing forth things because I was focusing on time and focusing on how others were bringing things forth, and I wasn't able to bring things forth. And guess what? The universe can only give you more of what you're thinking and feeling. And I was keep thinking and feeling that other people are getting it and I'm not. I'm blocked unknowingly. So guess what? The universe just kept blocking me. Well, it's really me blocking myself, because you and the universe are one and the same. Many just forgot that, but when you were a child, you were manifesting up the wazoo, and you're always manifesting in every present moment. In every single moment of your life, you are manifesting the thing that you have. So if you hate your life, you got to look within. If you love your life, you already know. I don't need to say a word. In fact, to you, you're good. You're good. To those who are like, ugh, but my reality is like la 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 la, well then you have to go check what la 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 is happening in your inner world. I look forward to seeing what they build here. Like, besides that, there's more that they've done here. I like it. We'll be by the water shortly. Yes, people block themselves from to achieve their true potential. Exactly. And every one of us, and I mean this, every single one of us is untapped, limitless potential. Untapped, limitless potential. But we block ourselves because, but I don't see it yet, Orion. It's not here yet, Orion. This is what my mind was doing. But it's not here yet. So I'm mimicking my mind right now. For those of you who are wondering why I'm speaking like that. It's not here yet. Where is it going to be here? How's it going to show up? Creating obfuscations after obfuscations. For those of you, that word means making it more complicated than it has to be. Damn, that tree came down. Look at that. Crazy. That's how powerful the winds were yesterday. Wild. That wasn't like that yesterday when we walked by. We keep creating books been removed. They also cause confusion. Power, those in power. Exactly. Exactly. The Gospel of Thomas absolutely speaks about what I'm talking about. Spot on. See, I don't call myself a student anymore, but I was a student of ancient wisdom, and I read all the different scriptures, not because of religious things, but I wanted to know why each of them were saying what they're saying so I can understand it, so I can help the world to get a little bit more clear. Think of it like most of us we have sunglasses on, we have a tinted glass, but the tinted glass also has fog over our eyes. And if you have fog, or it's not clean, it's going to be distorted. And if you can't see clearly, like imagine you're driving a car and it's raining, but you refuse to use the windshield wipers. Well then, are you going to be able to see? it's going to be a little bit challenging to see. So that's why I came to sort of bring things a little bit clearer so that you all can navigate easier. Clear is easier. They kind of somewhat rhyme. Morning. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. We're going to be by the water shortly. Let's see. Exactly. Spot on. Also spot on with the hidden knowledge. Everything that we're looking for, they say, is hidden in plain sight. Because they use a lot of distractions and noise to keep you distracted from knowing how things work. And by knowing how things work, it starts with you. It goes within yourself. So they use all kinds of tactics and techniques in the world. And why they, I mean, you know, there's this invisible force that's sort of playing like the puppeteer. But you know the funny thing about them? They're designed to do what they're doing. That's the other thing. They came down knowing full well what needs to be done for the rest of the planet to sort of become aware or wake up, or whatever word you want to use, awaken. These are just words. Yeah. So, and that's perfect that you said the power is within, because it is. All of you have it. Every single one of us. And the more each of you tap in and lock in, and you know that it starts with you and ends with you, it'll forever start and end with you, no matter. Morning, brother. How are you doing? Good. Enjoy your day. When you know it starts with you and ends with you, then it can only be but you. Okay, so today the water is going to be a lot more higher, so most likely my rocks are going to be covered. So let's go see what's going on. Looks like white water rafting down here. For those who have been here plenty of times, you've seen the water very calm. This is what we call the torrents of the mind. And yeah, my rock is completely covered right now. So my rocks are over there, but I won't be able to... So somebody painted something yesterday, or the day before, and I got to see it yesterday. It's two people and it has us on it, the word us. So yeah, whitewater rafting right here, y'all. I'm gonna put you all down for a moment by the water. Put my tripod in a nice drier spot. I'll look at the chat in a bit. I wish for more, but that's it. You have it all right now, all of you. You were never lacking anything. The world will continue to tell you that, no, you don't have it. Nope, you got to keep doing this. I'm not advocating for laziness here. You still take action, but you take action from a state of alignment. When you know you have something within and you're confident, your intuition will send you the right signals, the aligned signals, to tell you what you need to do. You'll get the insight. Today, go left on the street. You might run into something. Or take that action, call that person, buy that book, whatever that is. Because that's how it works. The intuition will give you the clear guidance. Once you're clear, that you already know, that you already have everything within. So some of us don't trust the intuition because it was beaten out of us. What do I mean by it was beaten out of us? When you go to school, they start to deprogram your intuition and program you with logic. You have to use logic to some extent. That's why you have both hemispheres. Everyone generally speaking, has two hemispheres in their brains. And so so I won't be looking at the screen for a moment. I'm going to just talk in my flow right now. So when you continuously know that you have all things within, the intuition will give you the answer. But the thing is, the intuition is always going to tell you the answer, even if you're in a negative frequency or a lower frequency. Lower does not mean like bad. It just means that you're on another frequency. It's the same. Think of it as the same spectrum. You're on a spectrum of a frequency. It's one frequency having 8 billion different spectrums. And so if you are attuned to love and joy, the intuition will give you more things to be joyful and loving about, and will bring more opportunities with the mind, as your mind will be your best friend. But if you see the world as very negative and angry and hateful, then the intuition will also give you things based on how you feel of hate and anger, and your mind will be your worst enemy. That's how this really works. Because I had to go through many, many years hating the world to understand that my reality started with me. It didn't just change overnight though. Even though it could have if I understood the principles of how reality worked, because I had to read a bunch of books to figure shit out and then actually put those words into practice. But once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, so it really does start with me. If you haven't noticed already, I passed by a lot of people, quite a few people, and I said good morning to them. Not because I'm forced to, because I know that they're just like me, and I wanted to say good morning to them. And sure enough, each one of them has said good morning back. Because I truly desire everybody to have an amazing start to their day here, wherever I go, right? That they know that they have their own personal power within. And you never know, even just saying a simple thing like good morning might change someone's day. Maybe they were having a crummy day to start, and maybe just me saying good morning was enough to change their trajectory of their day. Because you never know. Never ever underestimate a small little gesture like good morning. Or a greeting like hello there. Have a wonderful day. Have a stellar day. I love Stellar, by the way. That's my last name. I love my last name, Stellar. It's very space-like. Oop. Whoa. Almost slipped there. But you see, like, me slipping on that, I found that joyful because I got to laugh about it. I get to be in joy because I get to decide how reality works for me. What's up there? I'm going to just read through the chat quickly. I see kiss your uncle and see what happens. That's a random thing to say, but sure. I usually use my rocks, but they're currently covered. But here's a great thing right now. This is perfect. You all ready for this? You're gonna love this because I get to use this as my example. So normally my rock that I usually stand on or sit on is right over there. You can kind of see it, but it's there. Now, during the winter time, I couldn't see it because the snow covered it. So you can think of it like your manifestations, like my rock. I know my rock is there, but I can't see it. So it's similar to like planting a seed. You plant a seed into the ground, but you can't see the seed anymore. But you know it's going to grow because you're watering it. Well, unless you leave it to just, not be watered or you don't give it enough sunlight. But you do know that it's being taken care of, right? So that's the same thing about when you think about something in your mind. No, I'm not swimming. I'm actually squatting to the side of the water. I'm sitting next to the phone. You can't see me, but I wouldn't be swimming in this anyways, even if I had swim gear on. So when you plant a seed in your mind of something that you want, you have to know that it's already done. In the realm of manifestation or creation or revelation, whatever you want to call it, in the mental realm, it is already finished. It's done. It's complete. It's no, you don't need to even doubt. But every time you doubt, worry, or fear, then you keep pulling up the seed from the ground and you're expecting, are you growing? Of course it's not going to grow because you keep digging up the seed. So think of doubt, worry, and fear as the triple triad that will ruin your creations. But it's actually bringing forth another creation of more worry, fear, and doubt into your life. So that's why when I say like there is no lag, and none of us like lag. Like when you're playing a video game and the game's lagging, do you like lag? Of course not. Lag is just another word for waiting. Do you like to wait? Of course not. Nobody likes to wait. Right? Wait your turn. Wait to be seated. Right? You're impatient. We're all impatient. But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being impatient because you already know deep down it's already yours. But you have to change your relationship to waiting to know that waiting doesn't actually matter in the realm of the metaphysics of creation. It just is. And it always has been and forever will be. That's a bar, write that down. You'll never, ever doubt when you know that it's already done within. And you just lock in. And you're good either way, but you have to let go of the importance. You have to stop like putting something on a pedestal, essentially. If you put your manifestations on a pedestal, morning. If you put your manifestations, whatever that is, on a pedestal, then you're putting it above you. And if you put something above you, that means you're beneath it. And if something's beneath you, then that means you've considered it too big for you. And if it's too big for you, you're unconsciously creating this separation that it's not one with you. And unfortunately, the universe will only give you more of what you believe or know is true, and it will keep pushing it away. So you're probably wondering, why the fuck did the universe make the world the way it is and reality the way it is? It's simple. You want to hear the hard truth to this? I'll tell you right now. The reason why the universe made reality the way it is because if everybody knew how everything worked right away, what would be the point of coming to the earth? You would be instantly manifesting and you wouldn't have your journeys. You wouldn't be able to explore this place called Earth. You'd be bored out of your friggin' mind. You'd be like, what the fuck is the point of being here? Every one of us knows how to create things instantly. And so there's no enjoyment. You came here to enjoy this experience. I see you said the word afraid. That would be part of fear, yes. But this is what the mind is. So this I want to show you. Yesterday and the day before, the water was more calm. Because it rained so much yesterday, the water is very rapid right now, as you can see. This is what the mind is doing every time you're in fear, you're worrying, or you're doubting. How can you focus on something when your mind is like this, at 1,000,000 miles a second? Right. Even danger is also still like a frequency of fear. Because what is danger, right? Fear. It's just another word. Danger, afraid, fear, scare, they're all basically a synonym of each other. Right? Anyways, When someone's mind is like this, because you can think of this as your current, a lot of people's minds are operating like this. Very, very noisy, distracted, and this is like fear, danger, worry, scary, terrifying is another word. This is what their mind is like inside of them. Drowning, not knowing, going all over the place, not calm. This is what a lot of people's minds are like in their heads right now. Minds used to be like this too. My mind used to be like this. The way you're seeing the water, very rough and very, lots of torrents. Lots of chaos is happening here. It's not peaceful. But in a couple of days, you'll see that this water will be very peaceful. It'll be very relaxed. And the mind does keep wandering indeed, exactly. It's designed to do that. But you are not the mind. You have a mind, but you are not the mind. That's the big distinguisher that I came to, the conclusion. You are not the mind, you have a mind. And the mind is just a tool that you get to use. But you get to be its controller, or the mind can be the controller of you. And that's a bar, write that down. Either you let the mind control you, or you control the mind. There is no other way around it. You can work with the mind, or the mind can work you. But you'll have to start to slow down and relax. Orion, but how do I relax when I have bills to pay, right? I have kids to feed. I have a job to go to. How do I relax? I have 10 million things to do. I know. I've been there. Not the kids part, but everything else. Bills to pay, mortgage to pay, car payments. How do you relax when you have all these things? Right? Yes, you made choices that brought this, and unfortunately, we have to take responsibility for our choices we've made in our individual lives. But you get to be calm in every present moment if you choose to. That is really it. It's just a decision. You have to choose and then decide and lock in. Even if you have bills to pay and you have a job that you don't like, you can find times within yourself to still be calm. Find things that can bring joy even in the mundane of reality. I had to go through 17 months, again, on my other live stream with a phantom audience. What does a phantom audience mean? There were some people there, and most times it was just me speaking to myself. I'd be at the water here, or I'd be inside, and I'd be talking to myself all day, practicing everything. But I had to lock in, and I had to commit and know that everything was going to turn out to be amazing. There is a quote by Steve Jobs that says, you can't connect the dots looking forwards, but you can connect the dots looking backwards. And when you look back on hindsight, you realize you went through a lot of things, and you thought that you were never able to handle it, but here you are. Every one of you are so powerful beyond measure that you went through something so difficult in your life, but here you are, still standing, still going, still majestic, even though some of you don't believe that you're majestic or celestial or divine. That's why I came to this planet, to speak life into each of you again. And it's not just me, there are others doing it too. And we're working together to help the rest of the planet to basically play catch up, if they're interested, of course, because not everybody's interested in this. To know that you have the power within yourself to live your best life, and to stop fearing and start knowing and being. That's a bar. Write that down. I'm going to look at the phone now. I see a message. Reasonable, you're back. Perfect. I'm glad you're back. This is awesome. Welcome back. So, Reasonable, you are basically me from 10 years ago, hating everything. I hated everything too. In fact, I can tell you, Reasonable, that, and I used to take this as a badge of honor, I don't anymore, but my hate was more stronger than anybody's hate that they currently have. So like my hate 10 years ago was more powerful than your current hate that you have right now. I can guarantee you that. But I'm not playing a game of comparison here, because I'm telling you that I too hated everything. And how did I start to change? How did I start to shift things? I wanted change so badly that it was forced onto me, because the universe knew I had something important to do in this world. That's helping people like yourself, Reasonable, who still hate the world and hate everything. And I'm here to share with you, you have the power to change it right now. You have to decide though, but you can continue to feed the story of hate. But guess what? You're so powerful that you make everything around you more powerful than you, and that's a bar, write it down. You're allowing the outside world to finesse you into believing that you're not capable of shifting, and that's why you hate things. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that right now. There's no guilt. I want you to know that I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I get everything. But guess what? I can tell you, you don't hate everything. You know why? Because if you truly hated everything, you wouldn't even be listening to my words. You would have already clicked off a while ago. You wouldn't even come to my stream, to be honest. But you knew that there's something important that I'm saying, and it was for you, and that was yesterday, and it is also right this moment. Hate's not going to just disappear though, because the mind is locked into hate. But you are not the mind. You are so powerful beyond measure that you make yourself so powerless, because hate is a very powerful frequency that makes people powerless, and that's a bar, write that down. Truly, hate makes people very powerless because it's a very powerful frequency. You created the word hate and the experience of hate in your experience, and unfortunately, due to the fact that it's very powerful, you've made yourself powerless. But now you can make yourself powerful again by choosing a different way of being, if you choose to. You have to make that choice. No one can make it for you in the end. Hey Angel, good to see you. Life is not horrible when you have the mental and physical ability to overcome it. Exactly, spot on. Life can be amazing or difficult. It can be sad. And look, if you're feeling some sort of pain in your life, feel it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But just know that the mind is always creating a story. It's always searching for the next. And it's never going to be satisfied. But if I tell you right now, Reasonable, that you're perfect as you are, and I accept you as you are, and I love you as you are, even as you hate the world and hate everything around you right now, that's okay. I accept you. You don't need my acceptance though, because you must accept yourself. But I accept you as you are, because I understand the pain and the suffering of hate. I've hated the world for 20 years, and that included people who weren't even born yet. I hated God, I hated the universe, I hated everything about myself. I hated so much that I created hate into my physical experience, because that's what I was focusing on. And when I focused on hate, that's what I got, more hate. People, circumstances, situations, and events to keep proving to me that the world is very hateful. That's how this works. It starts with you. If you want change in your life, you're going to have to start to feel differently. Of course, in the beginning, it's going to feel fake as fuck to start choosing different, because the mind has been conditioned like an animal to keep thinking hate. But I promise you, you can train it the other way now too. Your mind is like a Pokemon, let's call it that. If you played Pokemon before, You get to train your Pokemon in any type of way. You can change its stats by doing certain types of battles or certain types of things with your Pokemon. Your mind is like a Pokemon. Let's just call it that. If you don't know what Pokemon is, which I'm sure everyone does know what a Pokemon is, but that's what your mind is, like a Pokemon. You can train it. You can train it to go from a negative, like evil monster to a positive, loving, caring, like God that you are. But that comes down to you in the end. It all starts with you. Exactly. And I'm glad you said that. There's always going to be something in our lives. Every one of us has to face something horrible in our life. There's not one damn person on this planet currently, except for maybe babies right now. Like, I'm basically talking about like anyone who is currently conscious of their mind, especially the adults right now, the current adults on the planet, that has not faced something horrible. Even those who have all the money in the world, they're facing something horrible right now too. They're feeling lack of purpose, lack of fulfillment, because they have everything handed to them. And because they have everything handed to them, and I know someone like that, and he has all the money in the world, but he feels miserable. And I shared with him, dude, you have all the resources in the world and you're feeling horrible. Why is that? There are people in the world that have nothing and they feel amazing. Why is that? Where is it coming from? It starts with you. I know plenty of rich people who are feeling amazing, but I also know plenty of rich people who are feeling hateful. They hate the world, but yet money comes to them because they're confident that money can come, but they feel like the world's against them. And I'm like, the world's not against you. You are against yourself. That's a bar. Write it down. You and reality are one and the same. So really, it's just you. It's you that has put yourself against yourself. And that's another bar. Write that down. So basically what I'm saying is, like, you have the power to influence your reality. Train your mind. You can lock in, or you can let reality be like this wave of water and sweep you away. This is what hate will look like, basically. Just washing away, and you're going down, you're drowning, you can't catch a break. This is what hate will do over time. So you can say that this water right now is a representation of your mind. This is not a representation of my mind, because I know that I've seen this water very, very calm. I've always seen this water calm. But I also understand that when you're feeling something, feel it, go through it. It's like that stick that just ran by just now. You're like the stick that just swam or flowed down the river there and have no ability to control yourself. That's what hate does, and fear, and worry, and doubt. And anger as well. Some people see red. Some people actually see red when they're mad. And look, I'm not saying that you have to be in a happy-go-lucky vibe state all the time. That's unrealistic too. There are a lot of people in the world that are faking their happiness right now. Yes, they're choosing to be happy, but they're faking it as well. They're not being who they're supposed to be. They're putting on a facade. There's a geese going down the river, by the way. You might see them in the camera. You might not. But they're getting swept. They can always fly out of the water, though. And he stopped and he got out of the water. And you can say that the geese figured out, hey, in order for me to stop, I need to go to calmer waters to stop. And sure enough, he also knows that he can fly. But that's by knowing in every present moment that you have the power. It's finding that switch within and knowing that you have the power in every present moment. And you can use these words. You can say, I have the power in every present moment to alter the course of my life. I have the power in every present moment to alter my reality. You're not really changing reality, you're focusing on yourself. Reality is just a byproduct of how you feel on the inside. That's a bar, write that down. But you get to decide. But once you get to decide, shift. Yeah, overcoming hate is like building a bridge over a stream. You're right. It's difficult. It can be difficult, but can be extremely easy too. It all comes down to perception. The mind's not going to make it feel easy though. I can tell you that. I've been through it. I've been through the absolute ringers. I've been through practically everything any of you ever felt. Rejection, yep, been there. Depression, been there. Psychotic, been there. Have massive anxiety, been there too. Anger, definitely been there. Hate, of course I've been there. Despair, been there. Fear, been there. Worry, been there. Doubt, been there. Insert all like apathy, like giving up hope, all hope is lost, been there too. Wanting to throw in the towel, been there as well. And in those times, you forget that there is another side to the coin, that there's another way of being, because the mind takes control of the brain, and the brain has two centers. Has two centers. It's called the amygdala and the basal ganglia, and that targets your fear center, and that also has your identity wrapped with it as well. And when they are targeted, then you lose all logic and you're all emotional, and you forget how to remain centered and calm. Think of like all of us like the sky. And when your mind has thoughts about negative things, think of it like clouds in the sky. You get to have the clouds pass by. Because clouds don't stay forever in the sky, they disappear, right? No two skies are ever truly the same. Think about that, that's another bar. So think of your thoughts as like clouds that are just passing. Let's say the cloud of negativity or anger or frustration or annoyance shows up, that's okay. It happens. No big deal. You get to let that go when you choose to, of course. But the mind won't let you just let go of it, because the mind will keep saying, no, we have to keep that story because that's your identity. That's who you are. You're a negative, hateful person. You can't let go of it because it knows that when you start to change, it's starting to lose its grip over you. The mind isn't the enemy. But the mind does one thing, keeps you safe by adhering to the stories that you've created, because it feeds off your stories. That's a bar, write that down. The stories that you've created or the mind created on your behalf, if your stories start to change, it starts to threaten the mind and its current stories. That's why change feels so difficult for a lot of people. But when you understand how the game of your mind works, you can easily change the narrative. Yes, you still feel your shit that you're feeling. Feel it, but you have to feel it and let it out of your system. Many people are like volcanoes waiting to erupt because they bury down all their emotions deep into their subconscious mind, and they're waiting for something to just let it out and free it. And how did I start letting out and freeing my energy? I started moving my body more. I started to let go of things. I started to work out all the tension and the stress and the anger and the frustration and the annoyance and the irritation out of myself. Doesn't mean that doesn't still happen. It still happens, but I don't allow it to control my life. I allow it to just come, do what it needs to do, and I process it and I let it go. But you have the power in every present moment to shift it. I hope that helped. Nah, I'll pass on fishing for now. I'll spend a couple more minutes at the water and then we're gonna get going. So, to reasonable, if you're still here, I don't think you are, but if you are still here listening, I trust that some of the things I said made sense, because I get it. I've been there. I hated everything myself. It wasn't easy to overcome it because the mind made it difficult to overcome it. But when you know how the mind works, it's actually quite simple. You just have to decide. But it's not going to feel simple because you've created so much emotional investment and compound over years of experience. Like, that's 10 years. I remember you sharing 10 years of hate, not feeling like yourself, which is funny because you said that you, if you're still here, that you don't know what you feel like anymore, but you still have an idea of what that looks like. So the question is, why don't you just choose to go back to that person from 10 years ago? Is it because of the experiences that you're experiencing? But it starts with you. You get to change that experience. As you start to shift, reality starts to shift in the physical. The problem is that there's a lag that happens in the physical. You have to hold on and know with absolute conviction and knowing that whatever it is that you desire for your life, it's already unfolding and has unfolded and is waiting for you to keep staying in that frequency for it to collapse itself. I once upon a time didn't know how to speak in front of anybody. I thought I was a nervous wreck, that I had no important things to say. Some of you might still not find this important. That's okay. That's not for you. It's for others. I don't need confirmation from anyone to tell me what I'm saying is important. I know. And I also said to myself that I do have universal wisdom. But once upon a time, I told myself I had no wisdom to share with the world. So guess what? I kept locking into that, and the universe kept saying, okay, well, you have no wisdom, you have no wisdom. That's all I can give you because you keep thinking that you have no wisdom. But I had universal wisdom. We all have it within us. And no matter what I say or how I say it, even if I stutter or my words stumble, I will always make sure that I always have the answer for any one of you, depending on what that is. There's certain things I don't care about. Like, I remember one person says, okay, well, if you have all the answers, Orion, then what is after 3.14? I'm like, well, my conscious mind right now doesn't have the other numbers, but I can easily go use my intuition, which will then lead me to go on Google, type in what's the numbers after 3.14 and find the answer. You see, that's still finding an answer. Otherwise, I would be like, I don't know. I don't say I don't know anymore. I say I may not be aware of it at this moment, but you bet your ass that I'll find it because I know it's already within. And I always find the answer within. So when I locked in that I had universal wisdom and I stayed the course, it allowed me to open up my mind in such a way that allows me to think vastly different than I used to think before. And also operate differently and say things differently than I used to say things before. So it really does start with you. And I am living proof of that. It all starts with you and it all ends with you, and it forever will be you, because it can only ever be you, and that is truly a bar. Please make sure to write that down. All right, I think that's a wrap for the water. We've been here for a fair bit. We are gonna roll out. I'm gonna unplug my battery and my cable from my phone. Come on. There you go. Thank you, water, for your lessons today. I appreciate it, as always. And your mirroring. And your love. And your energy, as always. I always get some sort of lessons or guidance from the water. I always do. It always leaves me an insight, which is amazing. We're gonna get rolling. I'm just putting back on my gloves. All right. Thank you, water. I appreciate it. It's a good thing I'm wearing these shoes today. These are like my after rainy shoes. And off we go. So let me continue to talk about the lag that we keep creating with our mind. One day, someday, I'm going to, I will. They're basically all synonyms using different words to create the same thing. One day, someday, I'm going to, and I will basically create time in the mind, because we've been so conditioned to say, I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be a billionaire with a B, or a trillionaire with a T. I'm going to one day be married to my partner. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to make it to the top. I'm going to have, wow, a lot of squirrels over there. I'm going to have that business. I'm going to make my dreams come true. So all those things I just said, that's just like examples that we do on a daily basis, unknowingly sometimes. And when we do that, guess what happens? We keep pushing it away unknowingly. Because if you keep saying, I'm going to, that implies to the universe, because it's watching what you're saying. Because your words create emotions behind it, which a lot of people on the planet, I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, are not aware of emotions behind their words. They just say words, but they don't really know the energetics behind their words. So when they say, I'm going to, like, unconsciously, they're saying, it's not here yet. And the universe is like, okay, well, then that's what you're going to get. Because that's how it works. The universe is a machine. It's a system. And it uses energy. The realest thing that's on in reality is energy. And you're an energetic being. And if your energy is saying fear, worry, doubt, lacking, scarcity, then the universe can only give you fear, worry, doubt, lack, and scarcity, or anger or hate. Because that's energy. It's taking your energy and mirroring it back to you, because it wants to stay in equilibrium. But the moment you start to shift, the universe is going to G-check you and put you back in place in your fear, worry, doubt, because it wants equilibrium. Energetic equilibrium, EE, or another word to say is balance. However, if you continuously keep being the new version of you, or the original version that you were supposed to be, which is joyful, caring, loving, kind, confident, calm, then the universe has no choice but to start sending that energy to you, and it'll fill your reality with more joy, confidence, love, support as you keep navigating and you shifted. So this is where you have to know in your inner world what it is that you desire and lock in. You want to be with a partner? What does that look like? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? What does that look like? You have to be very specific, and you have to be calm, confident, clear. And for those of you, I would recommend, yes, the universe also will build negative energy, because the universe always reflects and implies what you're currently in. And when I say negative, that doesn't mean like bad. It just means, the opposite force of positive, right? Because if you look at our an atom, it has a proton, a neutron, and an electron. The electron is what we call the negative side, and the proton is the positive side, and then the neutron is the neutral. That's why there's always like a trinity. Right? Because it's woven into our very fabric of our actual being, our physical character. A proton, a neutron, and an electron. The electron is the negative aspect, the proton is the positive, and the neutron is the neutral, obviously. So as you keep weaving that in, good morning, have a great day, thank you. As you keep focusing on, negative stuff, you can say it's like activating the electrons within yourself more than your protons. So this is now using a little bit of science. So the more you lock into the negative force, the universe can only mirror back that negative force, because the universe is a system of neutrality, but it will only give you where you are. That's why you probably wonder, exactly, the neutron is where is really what you have to be. You got it, bro. Spot on. The neutron is exactly where you got to be. Because if you're too positive, right, and one day that positive stuff just disappears, it's all about balance, right? There's always a third force that balances things out. If you are always positive, let's say, and one day something comes at you and it fucking derails you, guess what happens? And you don't know how to handle it, and you start to go downwards because you let the pendulum swing too far to the left or to the right. Hence why if your pendulum is rock solid in the middle and it's neutral, you've won. You've already won, just so you know. All of you have already won your game. You just have to declare it. Checkmate, basically. You already won your chess game. Checkmate. But the universe will keep checking you to see where you're at, and making sure you stay the course, whether that's positive or negative. So there's a lot of people who say, well, why do bad things happen to good people? There's a saying that's like that out there. And why do so-called bad people get what they want, right? I'll tell you exactly. Some of you are not going to like the answer, though, but I have to say what I have to say. And by the way, practice love and authenticity, especially authenticity. So the reason why good people get shitted on a lot is because of one thing: frequency. All the universe cares about is frequency. And what is frequency? Well, it's made of 7 keys, as I mentioned. Your expectations, your energetic thoughts, your beliefs, your perceptions, your focus or attention, your convictions, your beliefs. I might have missed one, but it's okay. There's 7 keys. And so when all 7 of those keys are in alignment, and you send out a crystal clear frequency to the universe, you will get a crystal clear frequency back from the universe that will just support you. Even as you're hating the world, that's still supporting you, theoretically, because it's supporting your belief of the world being hateful. That's a paradox. That's a bar. I hope you all make sure you write that down. If you are in struggle or hate or fear or worry or doubt, the universe is supporting you always, but it's supporting you in the way you don't want because you're focusing on what you don't want. That's why good people have bad frequencies, because they focus on fear. They focus generally on like lack and worry, and they don't have confidence in themselves. While so-called bad people, they're confident and they can bring whatever it is that they want. They have no doubt in them whatsoever. So the universe rewards them. I know it sounds fucking messed up, but that's how it works. The universe doesn't play favoritisms. It plays by frequency. If your frequency is locked to negative shit, you will get more negative shit. It's just that simple. If you are locked to positive stuff, you'll get positive stuff. It's just that simple. So good people get shitted on because good people have bad frequencies and bad people have good frequencies, and the universe rewards frequency because that's all it cares for. And frequency is made up of 7 keys again, and I'll repeat it. It's your beliefs of the world and yourself, your expectations of the world and yourself, your emotionally charged thoughts, because not all thoughts create things. To my people out there who keep thinking that your thoughts create things, no, your emotional charged thoughts create things. And actually, you're not really creating anything. It's already revealed in another reality. It's already been created. You're just revealing it. Your perceptions of yourself in the world, your reactions. That's the other one I forgot to mention. Your reaction. Like when something happens, like somebody comes at you and they say some stupid shit, right? Are you going to get triggered, or are you going to stay firm and locked in? You can say that my live stream has allowed me to strengthen myself a lot, because there's a lot of people who come on the stream at times and say, you're an idiot or you're a moron. You don't know what you're talking about. Why are you weird? Do you think I'm rocked by your words? Huh? Who do you think I am? A third dimensional human that still hasn't figured out how the game of reality works? Come on. I stay locked in. I know what my vision is. Someone's words of like negative shit to me doesn't affect me whatsoever. I look at them like, okay, whatever. I won't be playing a song, and I'm outside. I can't play a song. I don't have another device at the present moment. The universe always behaves the way we behave. Exactly. Now you're locked in. You're focused. I can see that you're locked in now. The way you behave, the universe behaves right back. Because you and the universe are like a string. You're one-to-one. How you respond is how the universe responds. How you react, the universe reacts. Right? You ever notice when you start reacting to someone who's negative, it just has more negative shit coming your way? Right? Does a positive thing come your way when you're in reaction mode? Generally speaking, not really. Sometimes it happens, but not all the time. Good morning, sister. Have a great day. Thank you. And here comes our brother Tom. I won't be streaming when I get back in, because it's going to rain today and I don't want to stream inside. So I'm going to take another day for myself. Morning, dude.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Good, good. Day number 8.
Day number 8.
Yep.
I see the glow on you, dude.
Yeah, yeah. It's still fighting me, but
I know. It's going to keep doing that.
oh yeah, I know what to expect.
Yeah,
But once I get by this part, and then
that's perfect. You're doing great.
yeah,
Doing wonderful.
yeah. My brain's telling me have that cigarette. Have
Yep, have the cigarette, but you're not doing that because you know that the mind isn't you.
It. Yeah,
That's just another story it wants to create.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it shouldn't be much longer.
Yeah.
Maybe another week, maybe.
well, like I said, it takes about 21 days-ish,
Yeah.
but that's just another story that the mind says it takes 21 days to form.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of psychologists and brain experts say that it takes 21 days to form a habit, but I know that that's not entirely true.
Yeah. I think my worst part last time was the first 2 weeks.
Right.
So 14 days.
Yeah. You'll clear it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You're doing it. You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep encouraging yourself and you'll know that you'll get through it. Yeah,
Like I see, I just went and did my laundry,
right.
and I was there folding my clothes, and
Uh,
a guy walks by. I could smell the cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, oh my God,
yeah,
that's disgusting.
yeah. See? And that repulsion is going to keep you from like, oh, I don't want to go back down that.
Yeah.
Right, because you're,
I never noticed that before because
Yeah.
I smoked,
right.
but now a person that smokes walks by me.
Yeah, you're repulsed by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the repulsion energy is what's going to keep you from going backwards because you're like, ah,
Yeah.
right? Because if you really truly don't like something, you will not go after it. Like for example, like if you don't like sushi, I don't like sushi personally. I've had it. I'm not a big fan of sushi. I'm not going to go have sushi.
Yeah.
I'll go have pizza or I'll go have chicken wings, right? If I'm going to go have food, I'm not going to go to some sushi restaurant. I'm going to go to like have maybe if I want Chinese food, I'll have Chinese food, but I'm not going to have no damn sushi, you know, or I'm going to have pizza or chicken wings because that's what I want,
Yeah.
right? So like when you don't want a cigarette, you'll be repulsed by it and you won't be even entertaining that idea of having that cigarette because it just smells awful.
Oh, and I got my last letter yesterday.
Oh, very nice. So you have 3 or 4?
I've got 3 now.
You got 3 now.
That's what I need.
Okay.
So now,
You might get a 4th one. Who knows?
who knows?
Yeah.
I might get a couple more. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down tomorrow.
Cool.
And then see if there is a next step. Because I'm curious now.
Right.
Now that I have all 3.
Cool.
That's what they want. So it would have been nice if I had more. But
You never know. Maybe someone will come through this afternoon or this evening. Hey, Tom, here's a letter for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But all they asked for is 3. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Cool.
If I don't get any more.
Right.
If I do get more, that'll be a bonus.
Yeah, you're good either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not attached or you're just detached from whether it's you get more or you don't get any more. It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Anyway, yeah. Day number 8.
You're going strong, dude.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Yeah. I feel good, and sometimes I feel
Yeah, I know.
like something's not right. But I
Yeah.
know what's going on.
Yeah, because I shared.
Yeah.
You know exactly what to do. Proud of you.
All right.
All right, brother. Well, enjoy the rest of your walk. I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, probably tomorrow, maybe.
Probably. All right, brother. Have a great one. You too. Cool. Kind of getting back on track, but I'll answer your question. Do I like? You mean rock music? ROCK. I do love rock music, but I don't listen to it as much as I used to. But I still love it. Music to me is music for every one of us can transcend our current experiences. Words just can't encapsulate how we feel when we listen to a nice song or whatever song we're listening to. That's why music is very universal. You could be a part of a different culture, different background, different belief system, but when you hear that piece of music, everybody will kind of be in some sort of vibrational resonance. That's why people go to concerts together and they jam out and they enjoy their time with each other. But then they forget that we're all one, but they should use experiences like a concert where you're one All right, have a great day. Bye. See her? She had this big smile on her face. Amazing smile on her face. I can see the joy emanating from her. She's not bothered by the rain or the day. She's running, she's enjoying her time, and you can just feel, I could feel her joy just out of her being. That is how all of us are supposed to be. I have a lot of work that needs to be done, but it's going to be exciting though. Getting through to some of the minds that have been completely finessed into believing that this is hard and life is difficult and the world is terrible and life sucks. I can't wait to meet all of you. And you can say blast past your subconscious mind or your conscious mind and its current beliefs of the world. That way you can transcend beyond your current level of awareness. I look forward to it. I'm excited. I am so excited for this next part of the journey. I get to work with clients who also are blasting past your subconscious blocks. It's amazing to see the transformations they're getting. And they always drop wins. They're like, Orion, this is what happened today. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go, boy. Or let's go, sis. It's so awesome. Really proud of each and every one of them. And they know that. I love that I get to do what I do now. It just feels like I never thought I would ever get to this point. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm able to do it, and I used to tell myself I'm the most fundamentally flawed human ever created in human history, then surely any of you can do this too. Whatever it is that you desire. But you have to have control over your mind. And guess what? You always have control even when you're out of control. Think about that for a moment. You all have control even when you're out of control. Because even out of control, you're still in control of yourself to some degree. It's a paradox. And that word paradox should have been tattooed on the back of everyone's eyelids as soon as they came to the earth. Oh, everything's a paradox here. I got to remember everything's a paradox. All truths are half-truths, but all truths are also very subjective except for one truth, and that everything just is, and that the universe uses frequency or energy to navigate the world. Each of you are just as powerful as either our current sun or another object in the universe. But you know what? You are the universe though. So you're more powerful than all those objects. In fact, you're the combination of all those things in one. But then of course you're going to say, but if I go to a black hole, Ryan, I'm going to get sucked up. Well, I mean, come on. Let's have a little bit of common sense now. Yeah, it's kind of, so thank you for asking that question. Yeah, it is partially manifestation, but it is really helping people to unlock their subconscious blocks that they think they have, but they actually don't have because of the stories that has been told by the mind because of their experience that they've experienced. And their experience is very valid and real. But it also might be potentially, and notice where I said potentially, limiting them from experiencing what they're supposed to have. So all of what I'm here to do really is so that you all live your best life. So yes, you can call this a manifestation channel, the science, the spiritual, even though I don't really use the word spiritual much anymore, because that has its own like programming. I'm really here to bring awareness. This is like a channel of awareness. Awareness to the power of your words and the energetics behind each word that someone says, the definitions behind each word, your personal definitions, your subconscious definitions, your conscious definitions, other people's subconscious definitions. Because words are they're just tools that we get to use and navigate the world with. But if we get rid of the words, then what's left? All words start with having to focus on some sort of energy, some sort of sensory experience, right? That's why we use words to sort of navigate the world. And yeah, intuitions can definitely be wrong indeed. Even though, I wouldn't say wrong, but misaligned. Misaligned from where you desire to actually be, but it's always giving you what you're currently at because of the level of awareness and where your frequency is currently operating from. So like if you're operating from hate, like I was explaining earlier, your intuition can only give you where you are because it's your inner tuition, right? Inner teacher. Tuition means teacher, guidance. So if you're locked into like the negative aspect, and by negative, I don't mean bad, I just mean the negative aspect of like hate and fear and worry and doubt, the intuition can only give you where you currently are. It can't give you anything further than where you aren't. So yeah. Ooh, somebody used the word primordial. I love that word very, very much. That word brings me joy when I see primordial. I love it. Let's see. The subconscious is just an animal that desires the primordial state of being reared by the mother. It can't appreciate higher experience. Right, because it's based on your current level of experience that you've experienced. Until you're able to wield the sword of solutions within yourself, I call it the sword of solutions, and start to shift the feelings of what it feels like to already know that you have said thing that you desire to have and lock in instead of, fearing. Morning. And you're doing great, by the way. You're welcome. I always make sure I compliment somebody when they do that. Have a great day. It's a good way of putting it, though. So my channel is designed to talk about practically anything and everything about the mind and the awareness behind the words that we use. Like, for example, saying, I'm going to, I will, someday, one day. That's just creating time. And the subconscious mind doesn't use time, it uses emotion. And emotion transcends time. And due to the fact that it uses emotions, if we keep saying, I'm going to, it implies that it's not here yet. Because we can't see it with our eyes. And because our eyes are just taking the signal from what our mind is actually projecting, and this is creating the projection, our eyes are nothing more than the projector. But then it creates we think that it's the receiver, and then the mind's like, oh, I'm taking in my physical experience as my truth. But in actuality, it starts with the mind and then goes out to the eyes. Good morning. Have a great day. Thank you. AP. Now, you'll have to kind of tell me what AP is, because right now when I think AP, I'm thinking, like Final Fantasy, like points. Share with me what AP is, because like everyone keeps creating new terminology and new definitions like every single second. So what is AP from your perspective? Just to make sure I'm on the same page. I always ask clarifying questions to make sure I know what someone's talking about. before I make, I jump the gun. Or I do my best to do that. Astral projection. Okay. Once in a while, but I don't do that anymore. I don't need to. I've done it before. I have a brother who comes on the channel who is very well versed in that. He astral projects a lot. And that's just a tool to use to navigate as well. But I don't astral project because I don't need to anymore. For myself specifically, I don't require to do that. I've done it about 4 times. I've had 4 different experiences that had told me what I needed to know. The last one was going to be the final one, and I don't need to know anything else after that one to know that how this game of reality really works. So now that you have shared AP, now if I run into somebody else who says AP from a spiritual sense, I'll know what that means. Because, unfortunately, sometimes the human mind can be extremely lazy and likes to create acronyms, and nothing wrong with them, of course. But also have to keep up with, what does that mean now? What does that AP mean? Because AP for me, in a video game sense, is getting points for your character. Especially if I played Final Fantasy X and that's the last game that used AP. But that's a whole different conversation. Which can still tie into this because, reality is a video game and you're leveling up your character with AP points. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to read a couple of your stuff there. Truly, one of the experiments I wish to be done is information transfer within the state. Holding a conversation with another projector, it could be revolutionary, but people are just too doubtful. Yes, and doubt is what corrupts and corrodes the frequency and throws us back into this physical experience because we keep adhering to just the physical, but the physical starts with every feeling that you're feeling within. And that's why doubt is one of the 3 triplets, the synergy of Trinity of negativity, I call it. Worry, fear, and doubt, the triplets. And they have sub-feelings, of course, between doubt, worry, and fear. They're all somewhat synonyms to each other, but slightly different, slightly differing in spectrums of frequencies, but they are kind of wrapped to the same. And they don't want to participate because they're scared it won't work, and thus break their worldviews, but it is nothing to be scared of. Exactly. Would have been cool if you were here a week ago. Had this conversation with the sister who was dropping her worldviews, and I was I completely understand her worldviews. I understand everybody's worldviews because I've experienced everything I could possibly think of when it comes to the belief systems. And I didn't need her to accept anything I was saying. I was just saying, hey, you are the answer. You have the answers. It's all nested within inside of you. But she couldn't just stop with her world views. So I'm you're going to have to do me one favor, sister. You're going to have to either keep going, swipe up on your YouTube journey and, find a channel that's more resonant to you presently. Because most people's beliefs have been wrapped around their identity center, and if it doesn't align with what you're saying with their current beliefs, it feels like their identity is being attacked because their beliefs have wrapped their identity into one thing. I myself, I no longer have a sort of human identity. I know I'm just itself playing a character. I call God itself because it's just a neutral word. Itself has told me to call it itself for now until a new name or a new word is formed. But itself is currently the best word to use because it's very neutral. It doesn't have that like heavy connotation behind it. So itself is just playing through this character and through all other characters presently. So if someone starts saying, "Oh, Ryan, you are da da da," I'm like, well, I mean, I'm just itself pretending, not even just pretending, playing a character. That's currently where I stand, where this, the current I, when I say I mean itself, is playing. There's really no I, though, for me. Let's see. Could be, but just more words. I operate in a space where words are just, they're all made up, but we use words to navigate. Could be, though. Oh, biker coming. Morning. So that has allowed me to sort of just accept things as they are. It's a good way of being for myself. After all the struggling and the suffering I had to endure for years and years and years and years, I'm glad that I got to where I am right now. And I get to be me, and I have neuroplasticity on my side at every present moment as well too. All right, I walk backwards up this hill. This is my end of my trail walk. Normally I stream all day, but I won't be streaming all day. As soon as I get back to the house, I'm going to call it a wrap on my stream. I'll still have about like 10 or 15 minutes to walk to the house. And then I'll spend today, because it's raining today. Normally I want to be outside streaming. I don't want to be indoors with this channel. I want to be outdoors. But I also am having to be mindful of my battery. I do have a battery pack with me right now. But I spent a fair bit of time at the water today, so I'm okay. Yeah. That one projects creating a tulpa. Or a tulpa. Yep. I like that you know these things. This is good. For me, I've transcended all the concepts though at this point, except for just is right now. That's still a concept, but just is just is for me. But I'm glad that someone like you understands what I'm saying. Well, it's not just you. There's others that understand what I was saying too. But you're more, you've done some work on yourself, I can tell. And when I say work, I mean you start to remember more of who you are. I love walking backwards up this thing. Brings me joy because I get to focus on the body aspect. Well, that was a nice trail walk today. Better than, well, I mean, every day is great as it comes down to my perception, but yesterday was a little bit chillier for sure and had to bust out my umbrella. Today, not so much. It is currently raining right now, though. You just can't see it, but it is raining. I am going to go this way today. There are multiple ways back. This tree started shedding as well too. This was a pink tree not too long ago. Now it's starting to become a green tree. You can see all the pinkness falling off of it. I wish the tree stayed pink throughout the entire year, but unfortunately that's not the case. Let's see. I'm gonna walk through this street today. We went that way on like Friday, I believe. Yeah, we went that way Friday. I usually do my best to change up my directions when I'm going and coming back, just to keep it fresh, you know. I like keeping things fresh. There's been quite a few people who've come on the stream and says, this is like a ghost town. Do you live in a ghost town? Well, on a Saturday and Sunday morning, it's pretty quiet. People are still somewhat sleeping here to some degree, even though it's 9:54. But Sundays, and plus the fact that the weather for most would be considered not that great today, they'd be inside right now. But we've seen people on the trail. Every time I see a truck like this now, I think of Nomad Brad from YouTube. Nomad Brad is a YouTuber who lives in a truck, and he's got a gaming computer, and he's got a nice stove in there, a good bathroom, and he lives van lifestyle, but I will call it truck lifestyle. He's a pretty cool dude. Ran into his channel, I think a month ago. Nomad Brad. And then, of course, there's Trent the Traveler. For those of you who don't know who Trent the Traveler is, he lives in a van. One of them like Sprinter vans or those bigger vans. And he has a gaming computer and all kinds of cool things. He has a good kitchen. Life on the road. Vlogging, playing video games, cooking meals, and just sharing his adventures with the world. And people will just support him. He made his dreams a reality by locking into that experience that he knows that he can have it. He was confident, very calm, confident person. If any of you are interested, you can check out his channel. Trent the Traveler. Pretty cool dude. Ran into his stuff around October last year. I was like, this is what van life should be like. I'll eventually have one of those. When I'm on the go, of course. I won't be living in one full time. I'll have one of those when I'm like traveling around North America. And now if it can fly, I'd travel around in the world with it, but making it, like having the ability to fly and use like the power of like the sun to keep the engines going and the batteries going or whatever, to just fly over the ocean. That'd be pretty cool. And then when you land, the wings disappear and it goes right back in to looking like a standard van. That would be pretty awesome, actually. Oh. No, it's not raining harder. Since I've allowed my imagination to open up more, I've always now started to see more things with my imagination. Like that just now. Taking one of those like van life vans. I call it the van life van. And then like potentially turning it into like a plane or some sort of levitation vehicle that can like travel across the ocean and then come back and land on like a different part of the world. That would be friggin' badass. Of course, you know, it'll need some sort of like fuel, or if I can get solar energy to help the vehicle stay afloat in the air, that would be pretty awesome. The essence of the tropics. Food truck here. They make good food. I haven't had any of their food yet, but I know they make good food because I smelt it before. I'm like, man, that smells nice. It smells very, very nice. yeah, when I get back though, I'll be calling it a wrap on the stream for today. I've enjoyed my shorter stream yesterday because it was raining, and today is raining. Tomorrow I'll be working with my clients, so I may jump on tomorrow in the later part of the afternoon. We'll see. I don't know yet. Ooh, BRZ, very nice. We'll see. I don't like streaming inside. I like streaming outside. Now, of course, during the wintertime on my other channel, I was streaming with my phantom audience, practicing all that I needed to practice and getting clear as to what it is I'm here to do, what it is that I actually desired for my life, opening up my visions even more. That way on this channel, I lock in and I help as many people as I possibly can unblock their subconscious blocks that they think they have or they don't know they have by revealing it to them and helping them at least for, as much as I can. I don't gatekeep things, but I do not do pro bono work as well either. So if you want to go deeper and find if you have any subconscious blocks that's preventing you from living your best life, then let me know. I'm going to go to the left. My intuition told me to go to the left today. And I think I'm going to keep going straight and then turn to the right. When you allow yourself to start to slow down, you start to hear your intuition more and more. And when you practice things like what I just did, there are small things like, which direction should I go today? And you just feel which way feels real to go today. That's how you start to build your relationship with your intuition more. Because so many people right now, their intuition has been beaten out of them. Speaking of van life vans, there's one of them right there. See? Instant manifestation. And the reason why it was beaten out of us is because school started to beat out your creativity out of you over time and started to make you doubt yourself. And I can tell you where it started. Anytime you were in school, and this is no one's fault, there's no blaming here, but this is what had to happen to majority of us. When you go to school and you were doing some sort of like test or some sort of work, and the teacher came around and looked at your work to see if you were doing it, I'm going to do air quotes here, right. That moment right there may have potentially created doubt within yourself, because if you did it wrong, the teacher will either say, that's not right, that's not correct, and then you internalize it as something as bad or negative. And from that moment on, you started to potentially doubt yourself little by little, and you didn't trust your intuition because, your mind wasn't fully, active yet. And you were a sponge and you're absorbing everything around, including those kinds of experiences. And then over time, it amplified and it magnified. Because of course, when you start going into like middle school and high school, you have more tests to do. They test you on things to see if you are competent. And otherwise, if you're not, they give you a grade, and they give you a good grade or a bad grade. But a grade, look, another van life van right there, and another one over there. You see, manifestation at its finest. And so the more you kept getting these grades, it started to determine your worth. But guess what? Those grades mean nothing. school was the biggest trap that was sprung onto everyone. Yes, you were meant to know how to do your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s and know how to read and do some math. But schools tell you a question. What do you want to be when you grow up? That is the incorrect question they should be asking. What is your current visions, or what is your imagination wanting to be right now? That's the question that should be asked. It sure is. College and university. Do you know there are people in the world that have PhDs and they're still doing minimum wage jobs? And then there are people in the world that has not even finished high school and they're making millions of dollars. Because ultimately, what is school here to do? To get you into a career so you can make money, but to also feed the machine. The very machine that unfortunately will continuously be fed because so many have bought into the machine, the invisible machine, the force. And look, another van life van. I call these the van life vans because you can actually live in these things. Trent the Traveler lives in one of these. See, how many van life vans have we just saw? Of course, I'm not saying that's a van life van, that someone lives in that one, but I call it that because that's how I, see them as. You can live in them. My perceptions changed after seeing Trent living in one of those. And that's the beautiful thing. When you see something that's possible from someone else, then you know it's possible for yourself. That's why sometimes comparison is the root of all joy. Morning. That's why I love Elon. He is against traditional education. His focus is on skill-based and personality-based. Yeah. I don't care about Elon in terms of his political stuff, but I love him as an entrepreneur because he went and he proved that he could bring things like Tesla, because we're right here. There's a Tesla right here. See? Instant manifestation, because we were just talking about Elon, right? He made Tesla into what it is today, and so many people have now bought electric cars even if they're not Teslas because he changed the game. I came here to change the game too, but from a different aspect, more from the mental aspect than the physical, even though your physical is going to be a byproduct of your mental. I also know that I'm on the same level as Elon Musk and his mind, but I'm actually a little bit further than Elon as well too, in terms of awareness. He has brought stuff in the physical. I had to start a little bit later in life, and now I'm starting to do it. But guess what? All of you are at the same level as Elon too. He's not at the upper echelons only. All of you are as well too. But so many people also pedestalize people. One thing you'll hear from me is never fucking pedestalize anybody. I don't care who it is in this world. If you're going to pedestalize somebody, you pedestalize yourself. Now, that doesn't mean to be an arrogant bastard. When you pedestalize yourself, it just knows that you're confident, that no one goes above you, that you're equal to everybody, and everybody's equal to you. That's how I operate. I see all of you as equal to me, and I'm equal to you. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't care if someone has $10 billion. I don't care if someone has $1. They're still equal to me. They just forgot themselves. That's the difference between me and the other entrepreneurs presently on the planet. Let's see. The issue with traditional education is just it's theory-based. Exactly. And a lot of it, when I went and I finished school, I have not used 95% of it. I went through like technical field, and through the technical field, I didn't use half the things I learned in school. I learned that shit on my own. And a lot of the stuff that I went through school with it was already outdated. Basically, when you go to school, you're basically getting outdated information anyways. By the time you leave school, you're already 4 years behind, theoretically. Today's day and age, there's no point to go to school to some degree, because in the end, you can learn everything that you need to know on YouTube and make a successful business for yourself, like I did as an entrepreneur, if you want to go down that road. If you don't, well, then you go down the traditional path of school and then go get a job as a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, or something, a carpenter, a baker, a designer, something, whatever that is. We're back. I'll spend a few minutes out here, but I won't be out here all day. The table's wet as well too. That's fun. That's a lot of rain. That is a lot to rain. I'm gonna have to let's turn the camera to me. I have 29% on battery, so I'll speak for a little bit more and then I'll end the stream. I won't be spending more time out here. Yeah, school is one of the biggest traps that was sprung on the earth. Because school was originally designed for one thing, to create more workers for the industrial revolution. That's how so many people got ensnared in the trap. We need more workers, right? Said some of the richest people at the planet at the time, like Andrew Carnegie, right? Henry Ford. These are great entrepreneurs, but they also created a little bit of a trap. And that's why the world is the way it is. There's a big, big gap in wealth. But I'm here to close that gap now. But then Orion, if you close the gap, the balance is going to kind of be dismantled a bit. Yeah, to some degree. But, the thing is, a lot of people have to know how money works. Oops. A lot of people have to know how money works. Not everybody knows how it works. They have to know that, money is not meant to be stagnant. You're not supposed to hoard it. You're not meant to just spend it frivolously either. You can do whatever you want with it, but you have to know the principles of how money works. Money is supposed to flow like current. It's supposed to be circulating. Every time you spend, you're actually circulating. You're not spending, because spending implies that you're losing. You're never going to get it back, but you always do, because the universe always replenishes to some degree. But it all comes down to how you think about it and how you feel about it, right? That's why so many people are in scarcity, in panic, and worry that they have to go work and trade their time for money. Now, of course, I'm never going to advocate for laziness here. You're going to still have to put in the physical effort. But that doesn't mean that you need to trade 80 hours a week for just some measly old little paycheck. I'm making more money now, not to brag. I want you all to know, when I say this, I'm not bragging. I want you all to know what's possible for yourselves, because there's other people who are doing it. What's the difference between them and you? Confidence and clarity. Two C words to make note of: confidence and clarity. They're clear as to what they need to do, and they're confident that they can do it. That's just what it comes down to. But I make more money now than I was when I was making 6 figures. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to tell you what I'm making, because I don't need to do that. But I'm making a lot more, and I'm working a lot less. Because I charge for my services. I know what I'm worth. I know exactly what I'm worth. And I'm not going to downplay my worth. I used to downplay. I thought, yeah, my service is only worth this much. No, it's not. There are people who are charging even more than I currently am, and I will be charging more soon enough. Not because I'm greedy, because I know my worth. That are charging more for even like kindergarten information. Like fucking garden information. And what is kindergarten information? How to master your self-love, or how to be more disciplined. That's like elementary. That's like nothing to me. I'm mind mastery. I'm even beyond mind mastery. That's what I do for my clients and for myself. And all of you who have taken on some of my stuff that I shared, I hope you really are taking notes, because, you know, this is worth a lot. My clients pay me a lot for this. And the reason why I'm doing this is, you can say act of kindness, because I want to see more of you win. Whether you work with me or you don't work with me, it doesn't make a difference to me, but I want you to fucking win. That's it, plain and simple. That's all I care about. More humans that are happy in the world will be more happier humans, and I can live in a world with more happiness. You can say part of this is selfishly for myself, for seeing more people that are happy, more happy people. That means less things that I have to do, and I can live a joyful life. And I am living a joyful life right now, and I see a lot of happy people. But you see what I'm saying? The more people who are happy, the less that I have to do. And the less that I have to do, the more I get to rest and do whatever I want. And I am doing whatever I want right now, but right now I have to help a lot of you to remember who you are and know thyself. American education, I feel, is a lot better compared to the rest of the world. That's subjective. There are plenty of Americans I know that they absolutely will disagree with that comment, but yeah, you know, it's subjective. They may have the top universities in the world, but that doesn't mean shit. Right? Again, not to brag, I'm not bragging here, but like, I didn't have to go through Stanford University or Columbia University or Harvard, and I bet you right now that I'm making more than some of the people who have a PhD. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to go any further with that. I don't need to. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here for ego games or anything like that, or a pissing match. What I'm here to do is show you what's possible for yourself when you start to tap into your true self. So that's why I love Elon, because he went against the grain. I don't care about his politics and all the other shit that he's doing with politics. I could give fuck all about that. I care about his entrepreneurship. The person that he was before all the politics, when he built PayPal. For those of you who don't know, Elon built PayPal, but he sold it. He's no longer owner of PayPal, but he's the one that brought PayPal into existence. Right? From PayPal, it led him into where he is right now. That was his springboard. I didn't know that, by the way. I didn't know that it was him that brought PayPal in until maybe 7 or 8 years ago, when I learned that fact. I'm like, he brought PayPal in? Him? Really? Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was someone else. I also love Steve Jobs. I know some of you may not be an Apple fan, and that's fine. I am both Team Apple and Team Android. I'm also Team Windows, Team Mac, and Team Linux. I love them all. You know why? Why limit myself to a fucking box? So many humans like to limit themselves to a box. It's either this or that. Why be that? Why not just be all? So I have an Android tablet. I have an iPhone. That's what I'm using right now. I have a Windows gaming laptop, even though it's a little bit older, and I have a MacBook Pro. And that MacBook Pro also has Windows on it and Linux. It has all of it. Why limit myself? Anyways, besides the point. Where was I going with that point? I don't remember now. It's fine. We can discard that point. Oh, Steve Jobs, see? Instant manifestation. Steve Jobs, once upon a time, had a dream. He was sitting under an apple tree. He was reading the book called Autobiography of a Yogi. Now, I don't know if he was reading it under the tree, but he was reading that book at the time when it came to him. For those of you who have not read the Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda, highly recommend reading the book. It's a pretty good book. Not that you need more information, but just to see the story unfold in the book. He sure did. So with Steve Jobs, right? If it wasn't for him and the iPhone, then a lot of the Android stuff wouldn't be here today. That's why sometimes somebody has to build something and then someone has to... That's why competition is good and healthy, but not in the way that we use it. Because a lot of us are like, it's us versus them. No, it's us with them. They're just building something else. I have a much different perspective on how reality actually works, because it's not us versus them. There is no us versus them. It's just us. Us in different companies striving to build something better for the rest of the world. It's just simple. So that's why, like, I love both Android and Apple, or iOS, or iPad OS and Android, or Mac OS or Windows, or Linux, because I don't limit myself to just one thing. Right? I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're an Apple guy? Ugh. Right? I used to be that type of person. I'm like, you having an iPhone? Ugh. iPhones are for people who don't know shit about technology. But you know, in today's day and age, Apple and iPhone are starting to close the gap. They're starting to look somewhat similar to each other. iPhones are becoming Androids little by little. They still have locked operating systems, of course. And Androids are becoming iPhones, because they're wanting to start locking down the operating system even more because of all the viruses out there. And all the malware that's in those apps. So you see, you know, they're getting to become closer and closer. Windows is starting to look like Mac, and Mac is starting to look a little bit like Windows. Like more compatibility, right? Now people can play video games on their Mac for the first time in what? 15 years? And I'm talking about some real good gaming, not some shitty ass, like, you know, like Pong or whatever. No offense to anybody who likes Pong or Solitaire. They're actually playing real games like Resident Evil Requiem or you know, insert your favorite AAA title like Tomb Raider. Or they're still not quite there yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there. I have faith in Apple in bringing forth gaming. But of course, that'll just then up the scale of gaming for more people. More people have access to the ability to play. Like, I was able to play, not to get into it, but I was able to play some of my games on my Mac. I'm like, fuck yeah, my Mac can handle gaming. I didn't buy it for gaming, I bought it for work. And I did use it for work. For editing, for music creation a bit. I did a little bit of music creation for some people. I used it for other things, for note-taking, because I didn't have my tablet at the time. But anyways, to get back on topic, I love Steve Jobs because he did revolutionize the mobile industry. And he had a dream. It's the crazy ones who changed the world. It's true. But then again, I've used Windows computers. Well, Final Cut is good, but you can also still use Adobe Premiere. But when it comes to like music stuff, Windows is not that great when it comes to audio editing, because a lot of audio equipment are more compatible presently with Mac computers. Funny enough. That's why I said Macs are becoming more like Windows nowadays, because more compatibility. Because Windows was always known as the most compatible operating system, but that's not true anymore, because there's a lot of audio tools out there and some video tools that are not compatible with Windows whatsoever. It's all on Mac. The world is starting to shift from different operating systems, not to get into a tech conversation, but I mean, we already are talking about tech. Man, they're focused there. They're locked in getting that deck done. Even in the rain. But anyways, yeah. Steve Jobs has once said that the crazy ones change the world. And guess what? You can call me the crazy one, because I'm here to fucking not change the world. I'm here to make sure you change your own damn world by focusing on yourself. And as you all change your world, I've made my ripple, little by little, by the things I share and the things I say. And just so you all know, I'm well aware of like cults. I'm well aware. I'm not here for that shit. I'm not here for you to like and subscribe and follow some sort of cult. You're here as gods pretending to be humans so that you can live your best fucking life. That's a bar, write it down. Whether you believe that you're a god or not, that is not some arrogance. Because there's God complex and God consciousness. God complex is saying that you are God and everybody else is like your little slave. That's not what I'm talking about. God consciousness is knowing that you're God and this person's God too, or the conceptualization of what God is. You can change the word whatever you want. And that you and everyone else have equal power from here and know that you are sentient beings. That is God consciousness. Equal. I'm not getting pizza, girl. I don't eat pizza every day. Next Thursday, I'll have pizza. Next Thursday, I'll have pizza. Don't make me feel, well, I have to go in and eat anyways, but, you know, pizza, not right now. It's too early. Well, actually, that's a perception anyways. Who makes up the rules? You can have pizza whenever you want, right? Let's see. Oh, look at this person. See? Here's a person who's saying pee off, right? Okay. This is how you handle someone who's in a negative state. You just say, okay. And let them continue to talk. Let them let out all the rage. Because you know what their rage is doing to me and for me? It's strengthening my resolve even more. That doesn't bother me. Send all your third dimensional or second dimensional words to me of negative shit. Doesn't affect me whatsoever. I'm just eating your words and absorbing it and getting stronger. That's how you handle someone, by the way, on the internet. And look at this person right here. Another one. Let's go. Throw it. If they even knew what I was talking about, they wouldn't be saying what they're saying. So I'm going to continue what I'm saying. So it's the crazy ones that change the world. And these guys who are on right now, or girls, they have forgotten who they are. Because they are controlled by their mind right now. This is the puppeteer right here. This is the puppeteer mind stringing them along. And they want to bring me down to their second dimensional level right here. And when I say they, I'm not talking about the human. I'm talking about their mind. Because their mind isn't them. Their mind is being controlled by something. But their second dimensional mind is attempting to bring me down, but I've already played checkmate before they even said their words. You can call me piss off, ass clown, idiot, piece of shit, dog shit, the worst thing a human can tell another human. I've been through it. Hello. Hate to break it to you. Doesn't affect me anymore. It used to. When I look at it, it's just words on a screen. Curry poop, that's another one. Right? Curry poop. Cunt. Piece of, like whatever else things you want to say. I love it. Keep bringing it. I love it. It's feeding me. Feed the trolls. Right? There, see? I even manifested someone saying it. Anyways, to get back to what I was saying, you all have the personal power within yourself to alter the state of your current life, whatever you're living, whether you're happy or you're not happy right now. Now, if you're happy, you want more happiness, you can strive for more happiness. But you have the power in every present moment to shift, if you choose to. But if you don't, well, then the puppeteer mind will just continuously give you more of what to expect. If you think of the world as very hateful and negative, and I used to be there once upon a time, very hateful and negative, I was getting more hate and more negative in my physical. Now, it's just joy. Damn, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be about 60 degrees. It's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit today. Yesterday was like 43. It's like 43 yesterday, 60 today, but then the temperatures go back up. We won't be getting anything like 90s anytime soon, but we'll definitely be heading into like the mid 70s or the low 80s next week or this week coming. Look at that. Is it just a yolk? Just another third dimensional word. Keep feeding. Hey, morning, young goat. Good to see you, dude. We got Justin, young goat, and our other brother. What's going on? I was about to jump off because I'm not going to be streaming all day. It's raining, and I don't feel like streaming indoors today. So I'll probably call it a wrap shortly. I can only smile. I'm in joy right now. I love it. Sooner or later, the world's going to shift in more of the positive direction and more people will be more happier. And you'll see less and less like negative people in the world. Because when I'm done with it, the world will be more positive. When I'm done with it. Get ready. It is pointless. You're right. Everything's pointless. My live stream's pointless. Everything's pointless. I'll be jumping off, so you don't have to see more pointlessness. Let's see. Let me see. I need another cup of coffee. Enjoy. Go get your cup of coffee. I was in the stream nearing the end of your walk while I was driving home, and you dropped a bar that shifted my entire perspective. What was the bar? What did I share? Because I shared a lot, and I don't remember what I shared because there's so much I shared. That's why I said you never know what you share that might help somebody, even if in the present moment it might not feel like it might be helpful to them. Let's see. You said good people have bad frequencies and bad people have good frequencies. Yes, they do. That's why so many people who are doing good, who are good people deep down, they suffer because they themselves have been victimized by the external world. Whereas bad people, they are very confident. They know how, they may not know how reality works, but they are so confident in themselves that they can just bring forth whatever, and the universe just rewards them because the universe is just a system, right? Whereas good people are focusing on fear and worry and doubt, and guess what happens? When they focus on fear, worry, and doubt because they see so-called bad people, because they're focusing on the negative, they end up bringing more of the negative. Amazing, man. That brings me joy, Justin. That really does bring me joy, and I'm happy for you. I really am. That's ultimately what I desire for everyone in the world, to feel that shift, right? You're feeling the shifts right now. It's good. It's really good, man. Keep it up. You're doing great. Just remember that. Forget what the world says. Forget all the other noise. You know what's right for you. Same with you, young goat. You know what's right for you too, right? Forget anyone else who is dropping any hate towards you or might doubt your ability or might think you're going crazy or something like that, it's because they themselves have forgotten. That's it. It's just simple. Yeah, exactly. Stay open, stay curious, right? That's what I was saying about like being confined to a box, right? If you're going to be in a box, you may as well be in the box of infinity, which has no box. It's a paradox. See? That rhymes. Box, paradox. Because when you just throw yourself into like one thing, then you're locked to that one thing and the confinements of that one thing, potentially. Whereas if you open yourself to all different aspects, then you get to see the things from all different viewpoints, like different angles. So instead of being like seeing it from like a human's eye view, you get to see it from God's eye view, right? That's why I decided to read all the Holy Scriptures. And when I say holy, I mean just the Scriptures, the ancient Scriptures. Because it was important for me to understand what were they all attempting to get at. They all shared their stories, but they're all leading to one thing, that the answer was right here. That's ultimately, like, whenever you read any book, especially when it comes to personal development or spiritual, it's always going to, they may not say that the answer is you, but they're always going to lead towards, like, you. They may not say it directly in the book, but it's always leading right there. And that you have to get this to work with this. This doesn't want to work with this, though. This wants its own way of doing things. And 99.9% of the time, and it doesn't say it doesn't create things, it does definitely bring things forth, but it might have brought it in a very difficult way. Like, for example, a relationship with someone. Maybe that relationship could even be more in alignment if you started from here and not from here. You brought the person in, but now they are creating some sort of external problem based on what your current perception is from here, when this one already knew, and if you worked from this, it allows this to just chill, you know? Yeah, mind, body, spirit, indeed. Right? So yeah, young goat, I'm glad that perspective shifted and helped you, because it's true. Good people have bad frequencies, and so-called bad people, and I say bad loosely because that it's not people, it's the mind, right? Bad minds have great frequencies. Good minds, the ones that want to do good in the world, have terrible frequency. That's unfortunately it, because of their state of being. Because, you know, someone's doing good in the world, but they get shitted on because the universe, they're thinking that like God's going to favor them at some point. They're thinking like one day God's going to, bless me, and one day God will help me. But the thing is, when is one day going to happen? That's the whole thing about time. My phone battery's at 12%, that's fine. When is that one day going to actually happen? Right? Good to see you. Justin, do you remember Olga? You should remember Olga. She's here. I think you remember Olga. Yeah, so good people have not so great frequencies, and not so great people, or I don't want to say people, not so great minds have wonderful frequencies, but wonderful minds have terrible frequencies. It's a paradox. And there's I think it's in the Bhagavad Gita, there's action in inaction, and then there's inaction in action. So there's inaction in action and action in inaction, meaning your state of being. So if you're starting off with like fear and hate and worry with action, then you're going to bring more fear, worry, and hate with your actions. But if you start within and you start with the alignment of joy, peaceful love, then when you go take the action, you'll be joy, peaceful love. That's the whole thing. They're all interconnected. Everything is. The world just chose their favorite, like everybody just chose their favorite book and then started defending their book as if all the other books are wrong. That's what's going on, because the mind is designed, this is another bar, the mind again is only designed for this or that. But why isn't it this and that, right? So for example, isn't the earth both day and night right now? if you leave and go to space and you see the Earth, whether some people believe it's flat, right? That's another conversation again. If you believe the world is round, you're going to see both. You're going to see both round. You're both going to see day and night. You're going to see half the Earth in light and half that's going to be in dark and sleeping, because the sun is not facing that side presently. Right now on this side of the planet, it's bright. It's light. On the other side of the planet, it's dark. It's sleepy time. It's nighttime. So there's there's all kinds of different things. Thank you. And let me see. I know I missed something in the chat. Oop, 10% of battery left. That's fine. Oh, I'm good. Well, I'm not freaking out. I have the battery thing too, but I'm not going to be speaking for much longer. How much time is left on? Oh, I already hit over 3 hours? Okay, that's good. Yeah. Good people or good minds, just remember this, good minds have terrible frequency, and terrible minds have great frequency. That's the best way to say that now, at this point. Is this the Nike CEO? Maybe. I am all of it. I'm not just with Allah, I'm with every one of them. I don't lock myself to a box. So, but I don't really talk about that. I talk about your subconscious mind. That's what my channel is focusing on, to help you to blast past any limiting beliefs that you may have. That way you can live your best life. That's what I focus on. Because the subconscious mind, even though we point to our mind up here, your subconscious mind uses your nervous system. And your nervous system what controls what you're going to experience, whether it's safe or not safe. If something's not safe, you're going to see it as a threat, your mind's going to discard it, and you won't be able to experience it, even if it's meant for you. Like, for example, money is a big one for a lot of people. Money has created a fear in a lot of people, so a lot of people won't have money because there's a fear around it. Because it's just misunderstood. The only reason why anything is misunderstood or anything is feared is because something is misunderstood by the mind. The mind just simply doesn't understand it. Once you understand something, you can't fear it anymore, to some degree. Of course, you understand a lion, and you know that a lion's coming at you, you're going to run because your body instinctually will run because you have that fear center coming at you. But then there are people in the world who know how a lion works, and they're able to handle it. Now, of course, that's a wild lion versus a trained lion. There's, common sense. But majority of things like money or like being like spoken on like stage, like if you know how your mind works or you know how everything works, you'll know how to master it, and you'll be the one in charge, not the one being controlled ultimately. To video cut videography, I am all of those personality types and none, because I can be anything. I could be introverted or extroverted at any time. You can say I'm ambivert. I don't label myself to just that one thing. I know that's the Myers-Briggs personality traits, but those personality traits are also an illusion, because most people will look at the quiz and then they say this is what they are, but you can be any of those things at any time if you choose to. So I don't lock myself to just that one thing. I did the test once upon a time, and I used to be INFJ, and then later on I did the test again and my things changed and I started to be ENFJ. So that told me that it just comes down to how I'm feeling in the moment, because I started shifting, right? Those who say that they're introverted, I bet you that you're not actually introverted. If you're with people that bring you joy and you're comfortable with, you're actually extroverted. When you're out and about with other people, you're more extroverted with people that you're comfortable with. So that's just another trap of the mind. That's a story that's made up. But I am not INFJ anymore. I am anything I choose to be. I can be INFJ right now if I really wanted to, but I'm not. I'm everything. I'm everything and nothing all at the same breath. I'm a paradoxical being. So I operate on a paradox. And what is a paradox? Two truths that are opposite and opposing, but they're both true. AKA a contradiction. And everything on the planet is technically a contradiction of itself. Is weed limiting, or does it open your mind? It can open your mind. It can open your mind, but it depends on how open you currently decide to be, because some people are in fear when they use weed and then they block themselves from experiencing things. But I myself, I can't tell you for certain, because I've never done weed myself. I've never smoked any joint. I've never done any substance, and I refuse to do that because I don't need to. But, I've had other people who have done it, and they've told me their experience, and it worked for them. But I asked them, well, how did you get your mind to be open to doing that? And they just told me, I just didn't fear. That was it. That was basically all their answers. But even if you are not fearing, you still may not have your mind open enough for you to experience those things. It just comes down to where you presently are and if it will work for you or not. Phone battery's at 8%. Yeah. So weed can help, but I'm not saying it does or it doesn't, because I myself have never done that, and I myself won't be doing that. And I'm not going to tell someone to go and experiment either. If that feels called, you do it. But I've had other people tell me from their experiences, but I also had other people who have done weed and had the other effect, and they created even more chaos in their life. So some are more at peace, and some get more cranky, you can say. So it just all comes down to perception at this point. Let's see. If there's any other questions in the chat before I wrap up, let me know. But I'm going to wrap up. Yeah, good chat today. Again, I may jump on later, I may not. It all depends how I choose to see today. If it's going to keep raining like this, then most likely not. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm glad if only helped you today and that was it, then that was good enough. That was perfect. Yeah. So I'm glad whatever I said this morning, which was the whole good people have not so great frequency and not so great people have great frequency. I'm glad that helped you. Or just to use, the common words, good people have bad frequencies and bad people have good frequencies, to keep it more simple. But really, when I say people, I mean mind. Good minds have bad frequency and bad minds have great frequency. Good stuff. So I'm glad if you were the only person I was supposed to help today and that was it, I did my job. I fucking did my job. I did it. So I'll see what's gonna happen tomorrow with the clients, and then may jump on later. It's supposed to be warm tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But tomorrow, whether I show up or I don't, I should show up at least for an hour or two tomorrow. Maybe in the later afternoon or evening. It'll mark my 19th month of live streaming straight, which is amazing. That's fucking incredible. Almost 20 months of streaming straight. It's wild. So, all right, y'all. Phone is at 6%. I'm jumping off. Y'all have yourselves a good rest of your day. I'll see you all again very, very soon. And just remember that you have the answers within. It's right here. You don't need anybody to tell you that. Even myself. But I came here to sort of mirror that back so you all know. And whether any of you work with me down the road or you don't, it's irrelevant. I just want you all to live your best life. Most joyful, most happiest life ever. That's it. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you are as well. And I want you all to live your best life. That's it. I want each of you to win and have whatever it is that you ever desired to have in your life. So, keep it up. I'll be back on tomorrow, or maybe I'll come back on later today. I go with how I feel and what my intuition says I should do. I listen to my intuition, which is kind of like here and here, and I allow this to navigate with the intuition. So I've allowed my soul to lead instead of my mind, because the mind the mind's like a finite box, and the soul is like this infinite thing that can't be confined to a box. So yeah. All right, y'all. Enjoy your rest of your day, and remember again that the answers are right here. It starts with you and it ends with you. All right. Peace out, y'all. Have yourselves a good one, and I have 5% of battery left. Bye.